Here he comes. Namaste. Welcome to Wheelchair Travels with Vineet.
I'm Vineet.
And I'm his mom. So in 2013, we went to Delhi for a short trip and then moved on to Agra.
And you always see a bit of Delhi before visiting the Taj Mahal.
Due to time constraints, we missed out on some of the other touristy places in Delhi, and I hope we can go back again.
I loved my trip to Delhi and Agra because all the touristy places were wheelchair accessible.
In this episode, we will show you the few places we visited in Delhi.
Delhi is our national capital and full of history and historical places.
So overall, I must say that the capital city of our country was wheelchair accessible even in 2013.
From our home to New Delhi railway station is about 1256 kilometers, and we prefer the overnight train called Siala Rajdhani as we save a lot of travel time sleeping. Nowadays, we also have daily flights from Durgapur Airport to New Delhi which takes about 2 hours, but they do not have boarding ramps. Vineet has been to Delhi 4 or 5 times by now, mostly as a halting station for our other trips via rail or air routes. Dadi accompanied us again, and it's always nice to have her company around us because she has so much more knowledge than us. We reached Delhi around 11 am and looked around for a wheelchair accessible path, but there were no signs about it. The coolies who we hired for our luggages told us there was a path, but it was around 1 kilometer away. So Papa carried Vineet in his arms up the long flight of stairs to take him outside the station via the shortest path, which turned out to be very long as well. Needless to mention, he was very tired at the end of it all. We finally reached our guest house, and after resting in the afternoon, we set off towards the Rashtrapati Bhawan area which was nearby. Rashtrapati Bhawan is the residence and workplace of the President of India. It was an unplanned visit, and so the visiting hours were already over by 4 pm. However, we wandered around taking pics of the nearby parliamentary and secretariat buildings. We saw a lot of stairs and steps everywhere and wondered about the accessible ways around these places. While making this video, I contacted a friend whose daughter on a wheelchair has received the prestigious President's Award for her creativity, and she told me that there were no permanent ramps for visitors on wheelchairs inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. They had been provided with temporary wooden ramps for the occasion. So my question is, have things changed yet in 2020? Will Vineet be able to move around freely in his wheelchair when he goes inside Rashtrapati Bhavan for a tourist visit? Do let us know in the comments if there is anything new. From there, we walked towards India Gate. The India Gate is a war memorial located astride the Rajpath. It stands as a memorial to 70,000 soldiers of the British Indian Army who died in the First World War and the Third Anglo-Afghan War. The Amar Jawan Jyoti, or Flame of the Immortal Soldier structure, was added in 1971 and has since served as India's tomb of the unknown soldier. Unfortunately, we couldn't proceed till the torch of Amar Jawan as there had been a haul of bombs by terrorists the day before, and so the area had been cordoned off. Next day was the Christian feast of Palm Sunday. We went to a nearby church and unattended mass. The entrance of the church had a flight of 3 or 4 steps, and as we struggled, people just looked on. No one told us about the ramp located at the side of the church, which we saw only after the mass. I think signs leading to ramps are a must, if there is any, in public places. Then we wandered off to a school nearby, and Vineet had a great time taking pictures of the beautiful flowers in the garden there. After lunch, we set off towards the Qutub Minar, a minaret 73 meter high and a victory tower built in 1193 by the Mughal ruler Qutbuddin Aibak. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was very crowded with tourists, and Vineet did not need a ticket. As we entered the complex, what a pleasant surprise! There was a ramp. Everyone got busy trying camera tricks to reach the top with their hands. Until recently, the public were allowed to go up the tower, but then was closed due to a stampede in 1981, killing nearly 50 people. There are quite some interesting monuments in the Qutub Minar complex, including the Iron Pillar of Delhi, built in the 4th or 5th century. It was not yet 5 p.m, so our local driver suggested we visit the Lotus Temple situated nearby. We stood in queue, but unfortunately didn't reach the counter before 5, and it was shut down for the day. This is how it looks. The next day we went to Agra and returned back to Delhi after midnight, but that story we leave for the next episode on Agra. On day 3, we left for Rajghat, which is the memorial dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi. It marks the spot of his cremation. There is no entry fee here, and it is open all days of the week from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. It was the most serene and calm place we've been to. As you can see, it was 100% wheelchair accessible.
Lovely place.
Mom, यहाँ कुछ ashes का मतलब
Ashes means rock.
चलिए
Ash
let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
चलो
ये जगह में एक फोटो लो ना हम लोग का मेरा. अच्छा. विनीशा.
जल्दी दौड़ो नहीं तो
From there, we moved on to the Red Fort, or Lal Killa as it is popularly known. It is a historic fort complex which served as the main residence of the Mughal emperors in the 16th and 17th century. Parking was very far from the entrance, but for Vineet we got the privilege of being dropped off near the entrance, and Vineet did not need a ticket here. It is open on all days except Mondays. We passed by a very interesting flea market called Meena Bazaar. Beyond this is the Drum House, or the Naubat Khana, part of which has been converted into a war memorial museum. The Mumtaz Mahal was the palace of Emperor Shah Jahan's wife, which now displays artifacts from the Mughal era such as thrones, weapons, paintings, costumes, etc. We saw the Diwani Khas, or the Hall of Private Audience, and the Diwani Arm, or the Hall of Public Audience, both of which were wheelchair accessible to our much delight. There is a light and sound show held in Hindi and English in the evenings, which brings alive the medieval era of Mughals come alive. It starts around 6 p.m, but by then we were too tired and went back. While making this video, we came to know that now all the artifacts from both the museums have been relocated to a new museum complex called Kranti Mandir. Next day, it was finally time to say goodbye to Delhi with historical memories. And guess what? Even our small town railway station had a ramp in 2013.
Stay tuned for the next episode where we will show you our trip to Agra.
Please like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and follow on Instagram at the rate of Wheelchair Travels with Vineet.
Thank you.
Peace. And रुक के नहीं बोलना मैंने.
So overall, I must say that our capital,